Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Rise of the 144,000 in Multitude. A message to Yasharal, nation of believers. Those who would be part of the 144,000 mentioned in the book of Revelations, and the great multitude, those who will come out of the great tribulation. Again, this series is entitled Rise of the 144,000 in Multitude. My name is Symmanayah, and today is November 25th, 2013. If you're tuning in for the first time, you will come to know that Yasharal, of whom I reference, consists of all nations, kindreds, and tongues who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuah, who accept Yahushua as our Mashiach, as our Messiah. For it is through Yahushua that we are made one body, many members, consisting of both Hebrew or Abri, Ibri, and Goyim or Gentiles, which means other nations. This message is to you, my brothers, my sisters, my family. In this segment, I want to address the issue of transition and relocation. Transition and relocation. My brothers and sisters, whether we realize it or not, there are things that will result in forced transition. Things such as chaos, civil unrest, violence, and much more, spawned by massive famine, drought, pestilence, and disease. My brothers and sisters, I will repeat, as I have done in each segment, that I am convinced the 144,000 have been sealed. I have also come to accept the multitude, those who will come out of the great distress or tribulation, along with the 144,000 are being refined and perfected. I invite you to examine previous recordings regarding my position on the 144,000 in multitude that's expected to come out of the great tribulation. In this segment, we will address things to consider for transition and relocation. I will present current conditions related to end-time prophecies, things we will come to recognize, setting priorities, and focusing on the signs of the times as part of our instructions from the Mashiach as it is written in Scripture. I will share, as I have done in times past at the beginning of each segment, with regards to the earth, the sea, and the trees. I believe they have been harmed, and we have reached peak levels or tipping points beyond recovery, as it is known to man. Keep this in mind as I share these two verses. Revelation 7:3 saying, "Do not harm the earth, nor the sea, nor the trees, until we have sealed the servants of our Elohim upon their foreheads." Again, I believe the earth, the trees, and the sea have been harmed. And I heard the number of those who were sealed. Revelation 7:4, 144,000 sealed out of all the tribes of the children of Yasharal. And as well, if you listen to any other segment, you will come to know that the great multitude coming out of the tribulation is also mentioned in the 7th chapter of Revelation. My brothers and sisters, we are in the last days. End times have begun. As I mentioned, the earth, the sea, and the trees have been harmed. Review previous recordings on supporting information. There are some very critical things we need to survive from a natural and practical perspective. Pressing towards maturity is very important as we journey towards that place where Yahushua will have us to be in these final hours. Remember, we serve a living Elohim, an Almighty One Yahuah. And it is through his set-apart spirit sent in Yahushua's name that we will come to be taught, trained, instructed, and guided. The 144,000 and the great multitude that will come out of the tribulation will be tasked with specific duties of which most of us are unaware. We have read and come to accept the scriptures referencing end times, but most of us fail to ask about the details, as well as we fail to ask about the responsibilities that will be put on us as it relates to obeying the guidance of the Spirit of Yahushua in these end times, as it relates to end time prophecy being fulfilled. Many of us fail to even ask, how will we be led or managed? Allow me to ask, are whirlwinds and storms what's needed to humble man? I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, whirlwinds and storms are unplanned, unscheduled, uncontrollable events, which also include characteristics of our life's experiences. They are more than just tornadoes. They are more than hurricanes and typhoons and snowstorms, etc. Look around. There are many whirlwinds and storms in people's lives, of which, in our experience, bring us to humility. Allow me to take a moment to present Nahum 1:3, for I think we will see much of this scripture fulfilled in these end times. Nahum 1:3 reads as follows: Yahuah is patient and great in power, and by no means leaves unpunished. Yahuah has his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. We will witness Nahum 1:3 like never before. The Almighty Yahuah will continue to have his way. I am compelled to believe, as often as I state, and will continue to state as long as I have breath and am compelled to do so, that famine, drought, pestilence, and disease will result in chaos, increased crime, violence, civil unrest, economic strains, and much more, as stated often. As pertaining to the rise of the 144,000 and multitude, I believe wholeheartedly within my spirit that we will see these coming conditions as humbling events that will sharpen our abilities to discern and understand what must be done. You see, my brothers and sisters, many might think it's about being passive or asking, will you do this for me or will you do that for me? But I assure you, this plan belongs to the Most High Father Yahuah, and it will and is being executed as he has designed. He will not be asking our permission to proceed with any of his tasks. We will be ordered. We will be compelled to respond, and every threshold that we think may be the proof we need, we will find and discover much surprise in what it will take for us to come to be obedient in order that scriptures may be fulfilled. Yes, we will face forced transition and relocation. We will come to a point where business as usual will end. Our day-to-day routines will come to a halt sooner than we realize. We are being prepared and fashioned in the eyes of the Most High as He see fit. Critical things that we've taken for granted, such as fresh air, fresh water, and food, it will become a daunting task, a severe challenge in the coming foreseeable future. I have submitted in previous segments, the importance of being mindful of our environment and health as well as it relates to pestilence and disease that is foretold in Scripture. Another segment addressed things to consider regarding shelter. And the most recent segment highlighted the importance of being set apart, structured, and disciplined. Yes, my brothers and sisters, there will be much refining and many detailed processes will occur as we begin preparing for transition and relocation. How we move and how fast we move will be proven by the Spirit of Yahushua. We will witness proof as to when and what must we take or leave behind. In the wake of famine, drought, pestilence, and disease, we will witness humbling events. Humbling such that we will come to let go of the strongholds. We will be freed of the strongholds and find ourselves empowered with the strength of righteousness from above to proceed bravely, with courage, into the fulfillment of Scripture. Who is ready to go as led by the Spirit of Yahushua? Right now, I pray we are preparing for that call to move. Yes, let us prepare for when that call comes to move. Let us be ready to respond with a ready mind versus kicking against righteous orders and commands that will soon come. Let us come to realize, my brothers and sisters, it will not be a request, but indeed orders, commands from the Spirit of Yahushua. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. Transition and relocation will come to be, and there will be no stopping of what will soon take shape. As end-time prophecies bring about humble events, there will be no doubt to the need to act, the need to transition and face relocation. How many of us have heard about an airplane overshooting the runway or witnessed a movie clip showing a fighter jet landing on an aircraft carrier? Precision is necessary in both of these examples. And so it is when a plane lands with precision, it avoids an accident. So it will be for us to land in a safe place. We must land with precision as guided by the Spirit of Yahushua. We must not be premature in our actions, nor slothful in responding. Transition and relocation will prove to have a group who is continuously being refined and perfected. A group demonstrating what is reflective of being set apart, structured, and disciplined. A group that we will come to know as the 144,000, 12,000 from each of the tribes of Yasharal, as well as a great multitude who would come out of the great tribulation. Many of us may not be aware that we are being prepared for such a journey to a safe place. Many of us are unaware of the specific tasks given by the Spirit of Yahushua. But as we press forward into these end times, something phenomenal, something amazing will begin to trigger within our mind, body, and spirit, and we will begin that transition process. We will face relocation. Pray and watch. While we may not be giving thought to the details regarding transition and relocation, there are those who will receive instructions for guiding Yasharal. Yes, there are the chosen leaders who will take the steps and lead us in the directions which we shall go. We will witness times of separations, a time when we may be leaving loved ones, leaving friends, leaving co-workers, neighbors, etc. There will be times of uncertainty regarding the specifics, and there will be those who will war against the directions given by the Spirit of Yahushua. Yes, they will kick against the pricks. But please note and be careful. There is nothing wrong with asking questions, but battling living instructions during these times will prove to yield much regret. How many have given thought to the scripture regarding gathering Yasharal from the four corners of the earth? Who has considered the distance and time necessary for fulfilling this scripture? Can it or will it come to be before the Messiah's return, Yahushua's return? Are you aware of the distances people will travel before reaching a safe place? It can be as far away as 5,000 miles or maybe even more. On the average, possibly less than 5,000 miles. But can you imagine 12,000 people from each tribe being gathered into an even much larger group of 144,000? Possibly those that would be part of the multitude coming out of the great tribulation may be along with them. Step by step, or with each turning wheels, it will take time to assemble such a group as described in scriptures. We will not be beamed into place. Please purge the Hollywood fantasies out of your minds that do not line up with scriptures. There is and will be much work to be done in our refining process as well as during our moves. Yes, moves plural. For we will witness being moved from one point to the next, from one place to the next, as the assembling process enlarges. We will see small groups coming into bigger groups and bigger groups into much larger groups until the demonstrated count is reached, mentioned in Scripture, of 144,000 in great crowd. Pray earnestly, my brothers. Pray earnestly to discern and understand when, where, how, and with whom you are to travel. I cannot stress it enough. For those who wait until mass chaos erupts in or respond too soon, you may find difficulties with transition and relocation. My brothers and sisters, precision is very important, and it will prove to be what is necessary for fulfilling end-time prophecies as described in scriptures. Discovering or obeying those used by the Spirit of Yahushua is very important in getting to the right place at the right times. Those who will be used to fulfill Scripture will experience battle scars reaching that specific destination. Yes, the enemy will wreak havoc and attack, but the Spirit of Yahushua will prevail, as with those who come to discern and understand and respond to the Spirit of Yahushua's guidance. We will come to know and experience the attacks from the enemies. Individuals who are chosen to participate in the rise of 144,000 and multitude will come to understand the position of victory like never before. It will not come without going through a humbling and refining process. The sooner each of us come to grips with the fulfillment of the 144,000 being gathered and a multitude of brothers and sisters who will go through the great tribulation possibly coming along, the better we may possibly be regarding preparedness. If it is true that the tribulation period will last 7 years, or even if the tribulation is proven to only last 3.5 years, consider, my brothers and sisters, how much time is necessary to fulfill the task of gathering 12,000 from each tribe of Yasharal from the four corners of the earth. Of course, we know there are no deeds that are impossible regarding the Most High Father Yahuah, except for him to lie. It is impossible for him, the Almighty Father, to lie. Transportation and available resources will play a wide role in our transition and relocation. What to take, who to allow in our company, what rules will be established to ensure a successful journey in the shaping of Yasharal, the shaping of 144,000 and a multitude mentioned in Scripture. What it will take, we will come to see. Are you willing to take the ordered steps? Are you truly seeking to worship and obey the Most High Father Yahuah and acknowledge Yahushua as Mashiach? Can you accept that the Almighty Father Yahuah sent his set-apart spirit in Yahushua's name? The time is now, my brothers and sisters. The time is now to choose. Make your decision in this instant, for the number of breaths remaining in you, in me, may be many or could be made short within a matter of a blink of an eye. Choose wisely who you will hear. Choose wisely who you will seek to worship and obey. If we are indeed one of the 144,000 in or multitude that will come out of the great tribulation, we will experience a refining like never before imagined. Transition and relocation will not be in a style reflective of being exposed to luxuries, the luxuries of man. Let us get that out of our minds. We will not be moving into luxuries as man sees and defines such vanities. Be careful of the value we place on these earthen vessels. Those who overstep boundaries established by the Most High are at risk of being removed. Righteous reproof will become present in evidence. There will be obedience in the shaping of an awakening nation, with 12,000 from each tribe of Yasharal becoming visible. Yes, there will be obedience. There will be orders given, commands issued, and executed. It will be a terrible thing to get in the way of the hand of the Almighty Father Yahuah. Pray and watch. Be careful. Be mindful of the things that you will consider to dismiss out of unbelief. Do not be overtaken by such, for it leads to rebellion. My brothers and sisters, phenomenal and extraordinary demonstrations will come to be. We will witness the righteous power of the Spirit of Yahushua working in us, towards us, in the shaping of the 144,000. We will see scriptures come alive like never before. Our means of traveling will vary in many ways. The journey will be filled with challenges, and we will meet others of like minds and goals along the way. Yes, there will be strangers Strangers will prove to be our brothers and sisters. Getting to know a stranger, let alone beginning to walk with strangers, will pose a challenging task for each of us. Let us be mindful of such, my brothers and sisters. Let us begin to prepare our minds and bodies to respond. If we begin to look at the weight of our condition, one should be able to know that the power of humbling events will be much weightier, much stronger than the strength of the things that cause us to be stiff-necked. There are many times, my brothers and sisters, where I fear for us. For who knows the methods to be used by the Spirit of Yahushua for fulfilling all scriptures, including those which inform us of his reproof, discipline, and judgment. It would be unwise to tempt the Most High Father Yahuah by trying to dictate the criteria for our service. He who created all, knows all, sees all, and searches the entire existence of what he has allowed to be, he will prove the design of his plans to be true. I have asked this question numerous times. Are we manna ready? Are we ready to survive off water and manna? Maybe, possibly, quail for repeated days on end until we've reached a safe place? What will the conditions be? What is mainly so is that we know that the scriptures will come to be fulfilled. It does not say the entire condition of that safe place, but we know it would be a place that separates us from being in the path of the wrath of the Most High Father Yahuah. My brothers and sisters, there is nothing that will stop the movement of an awakening nation. Those who will be in the number of the 144,000 and multitude, nothing can stop that emergence. Not even parents trying to hold back children, or children hold back parents, or brother hold back sister or sister brother. Not even employers trying to hold back employees. Not even prisons trying to keep the incarcerated who are believers, who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Father, who have been chosen to participate in the gathering of 144,000. Scriptures will be fulfilled, and there are no obstacles that will stand in the way. Doorways and pathways will open up to receive those in motion, those in movement, those who move towards the prescribed directions from the Spirit of Yahushua. There will be no obstacle that can stop its emergence, our coming together. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. We shall be able to visualize, in other words, see physically, the preparation and the coming together starting to take shape. It will be unwise to dismiss the necessity to prepare. It would not be wise. It would not be wise to ignore the fact that details exist, and we will witness righteous instructions, guidance, reproof, discipline, and judgment. We will see the hand of the Most High Father press around us. We will see the Spirit of Yahushua guide us through and to that safe place. Remember, brothers and sisters, scriptures will be fulfilled. Unfortunately, there is not enough books, papers, videos, or recording to spell out all the details we will witness in the coming foreseeable future regarding the fulfillment of end-time prophecies. I am compelled to also insert the need for being aware of the weather. In some cases, there may be those who are traveling under extreme climate conditions, hostile weather. It could be very cold, and it could be very hot. Yes, my brothers and sisters, let us be mindful of the possible weather conditions. We know that there are indeed extreme conditions as global warming increases. I am not remiss that conditions could be acceptable without any extreme weather in the path of those who are being gathered. But let us be prepared, my brothers and sisters. It will not be about praying and say, well, can we wait till summer before we move? Or maybe spring or fall. It will not be designed to cater to our luxuries and our vanity. As I stated before, my brothers and sisters, much work must be done. We can imagine all day and all night that we think conditions will be what we think conditions will be. We can imagine that all day and night. We can grab hold of whatever perception or vision we think it's going to be. But as a stiff-necked bunch, be prepared. Participating in scripture fulfillment may not come with the glamour one would think. I therefore suggest we begin to consider our elderly, our children, our handicapped, and others who may need assistance during this journey. Timing will be very important for those who wait too late. It may come to experience much regret. However, if they are designated to be a part of the 144,000 in multitude, they too will reach the appropriate destination. It all depends. Will we reach those destinations battered up? Or will we reach that destination as obedient and ready mind servants of the Most High, responding with expeditious behaviors? Remember, my brothers and sisters, the schedule established was and is created by the Almighty Father Yahuah. Yes, it is through his set-apart spirit sent in Yahushua's name that we will come to keep time and be on schedule as guided. Meeting up with strangers of like mind, bringing some children and their parents while possibly leaving some behind. This too will be a challenge, as I mentioned. We will witness the likes of such behaviors in the foreseeable future. Yes, people will be left behind. Adapting to and adjusting to one location over the next, only to find ourselves traveling again and possibly again from one point to the next. It will be a challenge until we reach that final safe place appointed by the Almighty Father. Who is willing to have the strength to take on the task assigned by the Spirit of Yahushua? I strongly encourage each and every individual to make an individual choice and be ready to act when called. I once suggested that each individual be mindful of their own responsibilities, our own responsibilities. I gave an example in times past of the possibility of one ignoring the call from the Spirit of Yahushua until they reach their loved ones, only to find their loved ones may be gone ahead of them. I reference the fact that if you ignore the call, does not mean a loved one is following suit. You may be ignoring the call, but that loved one may not. I also suggested the possibility that the very one you are trying to save gets saved, but you end up being the one left behind. Of course, this would not apply to those who are designated to represent the 144,000. These scenarios will come to be for those who find themselves walking in disobedience to the precise and living guidance from the Spirit of Yahushua. If you're walking in disobedience to his precise guidance, yes, a different fate, a different end will await you, a different reward. By now, it probably appears that I am being redundant on this matter of transition and relocation, that I am repeating this message too much. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, there are some who are listening to this recording as the very first recording. I strongly encourage any listener to listen to all segments of this series, for I believe that they produce and possess some vital words of importance, especially in these last days, these end times. I will bring this segment to a close by suggesting that each listener listen to these words and take these messages with all sincerity and commit them to prayer. Pray earnestly for discernment and understanding. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. Transition and relocation will come. Not might come. It will come. It is and will be proven to be a part of end-time prophecy fulfillment. My brothers, my sisters, my family, I pray that we are able to endure to the very end. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, until next time, my family, stay tuned as this series continues. This series, Rise of the 144,000 in Multitude. Stay tuned as we continue. Until next time, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom.